Paul, every year we come and see you. Every year you've got something different to show us. Last year we were really excited by CL12, which is this beautiful control surface. Not only is it very practical, but it's actually a really beautiful thing to look at.
Oh, thanks.
But you're now going software-based.
We are. So, yeah, the CL12 came out last year. It came out initially it was actually IBC last year. It was initially for the 6.8 only. But since then, we've also made it compatible with the entire 6 Series range. So it's also compatible with a 664 and 633 now. But yeah, our big story at IBC this year is Wingman, the Wingman app, which is a wireless remote controller for our entire 6 Series range. And it runs on any iOS device, an iPhone, an iPad. As long as it's running iOS 8 or higher, you're laughing. So what that gives us is wonderful metering, large-scale metering, much bigger than you can get on the actual display of the 6 Series itself. It gives us touch screen control of metadata editing, record start and stop, things like false take and circle take. We can name tracks, we can arm tracks, and we can also create sound reports and email them directly to a client. So it's really bringing the CL Wi-Fi functionality that we had for the 788, and we're bringing that now to the entire 6 Series range and sort of like souping it up even more. So it's a great
That's fantastic.
addition.
The sound reporting, the sound report creation, that's all within the app. So is that your own proprietary one, or is that a link up with another one?
No, it's our own proprietary app. Now, to make this work, you have to download the app from the Apple Store. It's free, but to make it work, you need a Bluetooth smart USB dongle, which we call the WM Connect. You have to buy it from Sound Devices. It's proprietary, and it's very simple. It uses Bluetooth. It comes with a USB A to B adapter kit, because on the 6 Series we have a USB B port. You can choose to actually plug it directly into a CL12, so it'll work with a CL12 based system too. Now the WM Connector's kit is €59 roughly, so it's pretty cost effective. It's so easy to set up. It's not like you have to manually pair Bluetooth device or anything. All you need to do is go to your iOS device, turn on Bluetooth, and then simply start up your Wingman app, and it will automatically bring up a list of all the 6 Series devices in the neighborhood that happen to have a WM Connect dongle attached. And then you just choose the one that you want. Now this is really good because it means you can very quickly switch between controlling different devices. You have to remember the app can only control one device at a time. There's some really cool things. If you're in a setup where you've got multiple 6 Series devices, it might be really useful to be able to ID which one you want to talk to. So there's a little icon on the list of all our devices. You can tap the eye icon and it will send a message to the machine and display a message on the front of the machine that you want to control. So you know exactly which one you want to control. Fantastic. The metering is very flexible. You can swipe up on the meters and switch between 3 different views. Arming and track naming is really quick too. Now the iPhone, because it's got slightly smaller real estate than an iPad, you can swipe the meter sideways to bring up a special track arm and track naming window. It's very, very fast still. So really it's so simplistic, this application, but it's a very powerful tool, because in the chaos of production sets these days, being able to edit metadata very quickly on the fly, and even if you're not quite at your cart, and give a bit of free movement, it helps. Now, Bluetooth is actually, we're finding it is way more robust than Wi-Fi in a crowded 2.4 gigahertz environment. And the reason for that is because a Bluetooth channel takes up a much smaller bandwidth. So when it tries to frequency hop to find clean channels, it can do that far more effectively. And for instance, a trade show is always a great test ground for that, and we're able to get some really good demo performance here. So yeah, it's going to be way more robust than the CL Wi-Fi was.
Okay, certainly, yeah, we can vouch for that, folks, because we are here. This is live. That system that Paul's got behind him is live. That is actually functioning. and everybody here has got a Bluetooth device,
Right.
including, I have to say that the radio mic that you're talking on and the one that I'm talking on, these are both operating in 2.4, and your app just fired up and
Still
worked,
going.
which is pretty
Perfect.
impressive. So what, I guess in that case, a fantastic solution for cart-based working would be CL12, your 6 Series mixer, and Wingman, and you're completely sorted from the moment you press record to the moment you put in a sound report.
It's a very flexible system now. You know, they have all these different control interfaces to suit your requirements on a cart, but also mobile too, or over the shoulder.
So the 6 Series itself, though, that's been evolving, hasn't it, quietly in the background?
Yeah, well, we've been doing a lot of firmware updates over the last year, and I think some very cool features actually. Back at NAB earlier this year, this is the first time we're showing this at IBC, we've added Dugan auto mixing algorithm. Now people who are familiar with our products, the 788 will know, and the 688 will know that we had our own auto mixing algorithm called Mix Assist, and it's proven very effective, but we have added Dugan, and Dugan is a very well-known auto mixing algorithm. It's been around for decades. It's still regarded as the most nice sounding auto mixer out there. So we now provide both Mix Assist and Dugan auto mixing algorithms, and the user gets to choose which one is best for their particular scenario. Both do a very similar job. Obviously they are great for multi-mic scenarios, especially unscripted scenarios where you don't know whether when to pull down or open a mic. That's what an auto mixing algorithm does. It attenuates microphones that are not being spoken into. So it can really help to reduce background noise, or Dugan is very good at maintaining a consistent background level. Mix Assist is maybe slightly better performing in noise reduction mode in terms of minimizing the amount of noise reduction, but you have to try them for your particular setup, and to give that choice to a user is
that's
very
fantastic.
flexible.
Folks, if you want to hear the Dugan system, last year or the year before, we actually we went and spoke to Dan, and there is a recording on IPS TV of the Dugan system,
Right.
with Dan himself and Simon Bishop and I here talking,
Right.
and yeah, it's a remarkable system.
And if there's any people here at IBC, we have a little demo station here where you can quickly compare between Mix Assist, Dugan and off, and it's quite an effective demonstration. So apart from the auto mixing, which is a key addition, and that's only for the 688, by the way, it requires extra processing power. Also for the 688, we, as you know, we introduced the SL6 optional accessory, which is a wireless and powering distribution accessory that can take up to 6 channels of wireless receiver. So 3 super slot based receivers, 2 channels each. We're compatible with Electrosonics SRB and SRC receivers, and the Wizicom MCR42s. Now, the system's been operating great and it's been very popular, but earlier this year we introduced the RF scan function. And this is really cool because now you can use the receiver front ends, hit a scan button, and they will scan the RF environment for frequencies, plot out a nice graphical representation of the spectrum, and so it makes it very easy to see where there's a lot of RF activity, and then you can very quickly scroll along. And
could you just, you did it earlier for me, could you just hit scan and we just
so
have a look? This is rather beautiful, folks, because what you'll see is that all the information comes up on the screen of 688, and here we are, look, the scan is actually coming up on the meter screen of the 688, so you're not straining to see the little display on the electrode.
The current system we've got here is a mixture of Wizicom and Electrosonics, which is unlikely to happen in reality. Most sound mixers usually...
It's not as unlikely as you think, mate, I tell you.
When you use like 3 of the same type of receiver, you actually get a much faster scan happening. But even so, even in this condition, you can see how fast it is to do a scan. It's only about maybe 20 to 30 seconds. Now you can see we've got a graphical representation of 470 to 700 megahertz here.
And it's RF hell, look at that lot.
I can now zoom in and out to really home in on where the noise is in the spectrum, and then I can scroll along and choose a clean frequency and then select which receiver I want to allocate that receiver to. So it's a very fast system.
It's very beautiful. I can see that saving an enormous amount of time, certainly for handbag stuff, in a big way. And of course, when you're in a place like this, the display you just showed us shows that everybody has a radio mic on here, and yet you can still do it. The fact you can do it with various manufacturers, I think, is very clever as well.
I mean, we're very, very proud of this system. I mean, it's really got to a very mature, complete state. You know, you have this really great ecosystem of devices which can be very easily separated or connected depending on the type of application. It really covers most scenarios. I can't think of many that it doesn't cover.
Brilliant. Paul, thank you very much. It's good stuff.
Thank you.